If y'all could sit down, be a little quiet for a while. Paige wanted me to say something else, but I ain't gonna say it. Welcome to the 87th convention of the NIOP. And our president is gonna remotely address the crowd in a few minutes, but I think before we do that, I just wanna give everybody who's here a hand for coming. Great, great. Okay, we ready with Glenn?
Hello, fellow NIOP members, and welcome to the 87th Annual Convention. I'm Glenn Ginelick, your NIOP President. I'm so grateful you were able to attend this year's annual convention, as it is a sign of things are improving in our country. On behalf of your colleagues and the NIOP leadership, we are appreciative of your enthusiasm and in-person support. Although my company currently has travel restrictions that keep me from being with you in person, I know you are in good hands with Liam Rogers, Convention Committee Chairman, those of our board members who are also in attendance, as well as members of the Convention Committee. You have my full support and well wishes for a productive meeting of engagement and education. I assure you that the organization, like the country, is moving forward as evidenced by this year's convention being held in person. We know that strong relationships are built and maintained through this organization, and we are so proud that we were able to provide this year's convention as a platform for those who wanted to attend and were able to do so. I know that our staff, led by Lee Wickersham, has worked closely with the hotel to provide you with a healthy and safe environment. I encourage you to use your NIOP membership throughout 2021, whether it be through our scholarship program, our introduction to oilseed industry training, our new Lunch and Learn, online webinars, the new functionality of our website, or the soon-to-be published updates to the prior cargo lists. NIOP has more committees and involvement opportunities than ever. We ask you to get involved to make the NIOP the strongest and best organization it can be. Please ask one of our board members or a member of our staff how you can get more involved and get the most out of your NIOP membership. This is your organization. Use it. Let us know how we can improve it and serve you better. We truly are always interested in doing just that. Lastly, best wishes again for a successful convention. I look forward to seeing you next year in person at the Westin Kierland Resort and Spa in Scottsdale.
Well, it's nice to see Glenn anyway. I wish he could be here. I know he does. He also wishes he could be here. I'm Liam Rogers. I'm the convention chairman, convention committee chairman, and there's nobody else to do this job, so I'm doing it right now. Normally the convention chairman gives a couple of updates, but he doesn't have to run the show like this. The president does. So I'm kind of filling in for Glenn. I hope that it's satisfactory. Just a couple of notes of housekeeping. If you can almost see the footprints on the floor. Because of the social distancing, we're trying to use one set of doors, the ones toward the back. Those will be for coming in, and the doors toward the front will be for going out. That way we eliminate people bumping into each other in the doorway. Also, at the registration table, I hope you all picked up your wristband to indicate your comfort level with social contact. It's very helpful. You know, we can't completely eliminate everything, all chances of transmission, but we're doing the best we can. And I think it's a responsible thing to do. And so I encourage everyone to wear their masks when they're walking around. Appreciate other people's feelings toward the virus and how comfortable they are. And stay healthy. We're also checking temperatures, so you should have had your temperature checked at the desk when you came in, and they should give you a little sticker that says you're cool. Everyone has their nameplates, I think. That's good. What we're going to do is we're going to leave those nameplates on the table, and that's now your table, so I hope you picked one you like. We're going to eliminate people moving from place to place. Additionally, if you are comfortable with one of your associates, you can pull tables together as John and Gary did over there. You can bring your tables close together so you can converse during the talks if you want to do that. With that said, I hope you all enjoyed breakfast this morning. It was sponsored by Wilmar. We thank them for that. I don't think Wilmar has anybody here, but if I did, I would ask them to stand up and thank them. Let me go, before we get really going here, we always have to take care of the legal matters. Let me get John Dillard to come up, or even just stand it, whatever you want to do, and give us the antitrust statement, please.
Absolutely. And good morning, everyone. Just a general reminder that this meeting, like all NIOP activities, is conducted in compliance with federal and state antitrust laws. We'll follow the NIOP antitrust policy. And so parts of that, no discussions are leading to anything anti-competitive. In particular, any discussions of non-public plans should not be discussed in terms of your individual company's non-public plans. This is something that we're seeing a stricter enforcement on antitrust, either through lawsuits or through the federal government. So something we just have to be diligent about. But with that, I'll turn it back over. Thank you.
Thanks very much, John. Can I have slide number 2, please? Just organizationally, we'd like to go over a little bit what the NIOP actually is. We're run by a board of directors, not all of whom are here. Those of you in the board who are here, please stand for a moment so others here can know who you are. Thanks very much. Thanks for all your work, guys. It's been a tough year. Next, the nominating committee report, which I'm giving because the nominating committee chairman can't be here. Every year we nominate a slate of directors and officers, and usually we vote on that at the general session. But since this general session is so small this year, we're going to do that electronically with the membership through our headquarters in Columbia. Lee is going to handle that. And when is that going to happen, Lee? Do we know? Okay, next week then we're going to do that. So this will be the slate you're going to get in your email. You're all going to vote yes, and then we'll move on from there. The NIOP is run, the work of the NIOP is done mainly by Lee, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank her. Lee accomplishes her task by working with and controlling 7 different committees with 30 volunteers on the committees. Can I have slide number 4 so everyone can see the committees that we have? Okay. All these people that are on these committees are volunteers. They give of their time freely for the organization, and they deserve our thanks. So if you bump into them, tell them thank you. I'd like to call incoming treasurer Nate Smithson, even though the vote hasn't happened yet, to come up and give the treasurer's report. Thanks, Nate.
Thank you, Liam. I'm presenting this for our current treasurer, Brian Owens, who, like Glenn, has a travel restriction from his employer, and he couldn't be with us today. You have slide 5 up there, right? Nope, go back 1. There you go. 2020 was a challenging year for us, and I also want to thank Lee. Like Liam said, Lee and her group did a great job this last year. As we were coming into the conference last year, we were ready to have an outstanding event, and then what was it, Lee, about 14 days prior to the event, the wheels kind of started to fall off and people started backing out, and we had to negotiate with the hotel to kind of get some concessions and work with attendees and sponsors, and And by the time it was all said and done with, we rolled forward $141,000 in registration to this year. We were able to keep some sponsorship dollars and work with our members. But at the end of the day, we posted a little bit of a loss. I think what's worth noting on this is we went through a self-imposed audit. We do that every year, and we got the results back from our auditor, and they gave us the most favorable audit opinion, and we are positioned very, very well to kind of face things moving forward here. So this year will obviously still be a little bit of a challenge, but we're very confident that with what we saw here today and what we see on the horizon, that things are going to look good. So you can go to the next slide. I guess kind of representing the social media committee, this was added last year, and it was kind of a way that we thought, you know, it isn't just about communicating with our members through email, but how can we be a little bit more in front of people, not just with information about the convention, but industry information, information about our members. So we started a social media committee, and we have a presence on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. So if you haven't already, follow us on those platforms. We try to have some fun with it, but also it's a way to disseminate relevant industry information. So if you haven't done so already, follow us on one of those platforms. You can go to the next slide. And finally, this last year, we made a couple of attempts at a lunch and learn. After we didn't have the convention last year, we thought, you know, that our members really kind of were looking for some guidance from NIOP. So we had the first one in March, or what? No, it wasn't March. Was it May? May of last year. Our counsel, John Dillard, did a session on just how the legal ramifications of COVID when it comes to food manufacturing. We did a couple sessions on that. And then we had one earlier this year that was sponsored by the Jacobson on renewable diesel. And both of those were very well attended. They were recorded, and they're available to watch after the fact. So I would encourage any of you, if you have suggestions or ideas or any thoughts on topics that you might want to learn more on, or if you have a topic that you think our members might want to hear more on, let us know. I think this is one of these things that even after COVID passes, we'll probably look at continuing to do these lunch and learns, because our members found a lot of value in that. So with that, I will pass it over to Lee to talk about our education.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to tell you a little bit about the Education Committee and some of the work that they did last year and some of the ongoing work for this year. Last year, we had a new Education Committee chairman come in, Will Swanson from Cargill, took over the mantle from Andy Segrin and did a great job of pushing us forward. Unfortunately, he had the not real pleasure of dealing with COVID, so we did pivot last year's OIT program to a virtual event. But it was the chairman's idea that it be a live virtual event. So we actually split it into 2 days, did 2 half days. We had 25 attendees over 2 different afternoons. So we considered it a real success. We had the same great speakers from the year before. They had updated all of their information and met with the group both days with a lot of enthusiasm. So even though we missed the in-person component, we were very pleased to be able to have the event last year. We do have it planned to be in person this year in 2021, a little bit different than in the past in that it will be in September this year. So you may remember that we typically have done it in May, but we're going to do it in September, and we will be back in Chicago. This OIT has been very popular for our membership. It's been something that all of our members seem to have taken advantage of over the years and almost treat it like a pipeline for some of their new employees and also some employees who've maybe been in a certain silo within the industry and want to get more of a breadth of it. So I encourage you to consider that. It's a one-day class. It's offered 2 different days, but it's a one-day class in Chicago, so a quick in and out. We do that intentionally, try to save money for the companies, but also provide a value. So I would encourage you to let me know here if you'd like, and I can put you on the list and keep you informed as details develop on that. I think that's all that I have for the membership committee. So I'll move on to membership committee next. So 2020, despite COVID, we actually had a growth year. Probably fortunately for us, our growth typically happens in the beginning of the year, built around when the conference is coming. And so we did have a really good year last year, despite COVID. Now this year too, we also have new members, and we have them on the screen, and we're very fortunate that we have a number of them actually with us at this conference. So it's a good opportunity for us to get to know these new members maybe a little better this year because the group is a little smaller. So I encourage you to look for our new member ribbons. If we have any in the room, would you stand so that we could recognize you, please? Our new members. And this would be new members from 2020 and this year, so we've got a couple. Please look around, identify these folks, and then try to meet up with them if you will. Mr. Chairman, I'll turn it back over to you now.
Okay, finally I get to do my own job. The convention committee report. I would just like to thank all the members. There's a lot of members of the convention committee. We meet once a month, have the conference call. We'll start meeting next month for next year's meeting, and planning the speakers, planning the events, tweaking the systems that we use here, like this new idea we have now of this conversation area for people to sit down and have coffee, a place to meet and talk, and some other events that we're putting together to try and make it more interesting for everybody. I'd like to thank that committee. Are there any convention committee members here? I can't see because of the spotlight. Please stand. Okay, yeah, great. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Great job. Once again, Lee does most of the work. We just talk on the phone once a month. Well, we did that already. Oh, the golf tournament winners. Unfortunately, nobody won the golf tournament. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Our winners are the foursome of Mike Rath, Andre Thionville, Upa, and Jim Miles. If any of you are here, please rise and be recognized for not working very hard and playing a lot of golf. Oh, you want to come up and get your trophy, Andre? You're the only one here? Oh, yeah, sorry. Is Pete Miller here? Come on up, Pete. Pete is the sponsor of the award for the golf tournament, so we're going to let him present it. Mike, come on up here, Mike.
Thank you.
Down there.
Just for sake of the team that won, because I sponsored it, I didn't feel I should play, because then if I won, it would be rigged. So I wanted to let some other colleagues sort of enjoy the gift. So thank you, guys. Congratulations. Thank you. You know, I got to make sure you're okay with a handshake. Looks like you are.
I'm good.
You want a chest bump? Is that what you want?
No, I'm good.
And for your, I take it there was a foursome?
Yeah, we'll get it to him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for sponsoring, Pete.
You're welcome.
Good job, guys. Speaking of sponsoring the award for the golf tournament, I'd like to go through our list of sponsors. Can we put that up on the first is the diamond sponsors, that's slide 10. All of these companies have shown their commitment to the NIOP. So if any of you are in attendance, please rise and be recognized. I'm already standing, Craig. You can stand if you want. Thanks, everybody. Now the platinum sponsors, please. Please rise again. Gold sponsors, please rise. And silver sponsors, please rise. You heard Nate go over the financials, the treasurer's report. Without the sponsors, we'd be in a hole. The sponsors make this organization whole and make it survive. So I thank them all very, very much. One of the things I wanted to bring up, which I didn't bring up earlier, is that, last year we canceled this convention with 2 weeks to go. It was very disappointing to everybody, and it was really the first sign that things were really bad and it was going to get worse. And so we kind of led the slide into the hole that we went into in 2020. NIOP was the first to cancel. Well, we're also the first to have a convention. No, they haven't had a convention at this hotel since last year. They've had a couple of birthday parties and maybe a small wedding. We're their first convention. So they're as excited to be here as we are. And hopefully when we get to next year, by the time we get to next year, which I'm going to announce the location, we're going to be really back to normal and everything's going to be just the way it was. So next year we're at the Westin Kierland in Scottsdale, Arizona. And the committee spent a lot of time picking that out. I think we had about 6 or 7 votes before we figured out where we were going to go. So this is really well liked by the membership and well suited to allow us to have the kind of convention we want to have. The last thing I want to get to here before we go through our introductions is the scholarship committee. A couple of years ago, Al Mogerly passed away in 2018, December 20th, and the board voted to name a scholarship after him. So there's 2 winners every year of the scholarship, and there's a scholarship committee that decides who the winners are by reading the essays that are sent in and evaluating the candidates in that fashion. Last year's winners were Abby Myers of the University of North Dakota. Her parents are here, so if they would please stand for her, that would be good. Her father's here. Congratulations. And Carson Pearl of the University of Missouri, Columbia. The new committee is, the new scholarship is available, so anybody who wants to submit, the deadline for submissions is April 1st of 2021. I'm sorry, this year there are 4 scholarships of $2,500 apiece. The committee decided to broaden the reach. Okay, as is our tradition over the years, we go through and everyone stands.